Hello folks, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to Code with Sanju programming channel. Today in this video, I will tell you about SQL DDL commands. Okay, so let's get started. So first, what is DDL command? So DDL in DBMS is a language that allows users to define the database components and their relationship with each other. These commands work with the structure of table like creating a table, deleting a table, and alternating a table. DDL commands allow us to define and change the data types of table column and integrity constraint while defining the table structure. Integrity constraint in the sense, for example, everyone have a unique ID. Okay, we go in college and professors are providing us a special ID which will different from anywhere. Okay, all DDL commands are auto-committed, which means the changes done using them are permanently saved in the database, but they can be rolled back. The DDL command in DBMS are as follow, which is create, alter, truncate, and drop. Let's understand what is create. Create is a DDL command in DBMS that is used to create tables or databases. While creating a table, we specify table names, columns names, data type of each columns, and column size. If there are any integrity constraint or key constraint of the table like primary key, unique, not null, etc., we must specify them while creating it along with the column names and detail. Let's understand with a real world example. So let's move to the practical. So first we have to open SQL command line. Okay, I already opened, so I'm not going to open this. So first what we have to do, we have to put the password which we will take while downloading the MySQL. So my password is root, just enter, and let's move to the DDL command. So first is create. Okay, after that, first of all we have to know how many databases are present in our SQL. Okay, so for knowing how many databases are present, we have one query which is show databases and then semicolon, enter. Okay, so here you can see uh, so many databases are present, but what I need to do, I need to create a new database. So for creating a new database, I will fire one query which is create database and then database name. Okay, so let's get started. First I need to clear my screen. So for clearing the screen, we have one query which is system cls and then semicolon. Let's first create a database. After creating a database, we can do any operations in our table. Okay, so first create database. So create database, and I will put database name like employee. Okay, like student. Let's consider student and then semicolon. So here one row is affected. Okay, so if I just show databases. Okay, so you can see, yeah, sorry. So databases, you can see employee database is present here. Okay, so next step is I want to use this employee student. You can see student is present here, so I want to use student. So for using student, we can use and then our database name, which is student. So here we entered in our database. Okay, now I want to create a table. So for creating a table, we have a query which is create table and table name. Let's consider I'm taking table name as a student info and then put columns. Okay, So for example, student ID, we have to give data type also, and then another column with a, see, for creating a table we have to must create a column. Okay, so inside the parenthesis we have we will creating a columns. Okay, so student ID and integer, then student name, and the data type of student name is varchar. Okay, so first understand what is this data types. In another programming language like Python, Java, C, C++, we have integer, float, character, double, long, short, and so on. Okay, but in MySQL we have specifically there are 25 data types, but we will use really or popular data types like varchar, integer, date time. So student ID is int and data type is int, column name is student name, and then data type is varchar, and we have to give the length. Okay, for example, anyone name is Sanju Kumari Sharma, so we have to put some length. Okay, according to that. So here I am taking 150 length, and then colon, student ID, student name, and student city. Okay, and then student city is also varchar, so put varchar and give the data type, well, length. So for example, I will give here 28. Okay, now semicolon and then enter. So here you can see our row is affected one. So for knowing how many databases are present in our SQL, we will have command which is show databases. Now I have to know how many tables are present in my database. So knowing them, we will fire one command which is show tables, and then you can see student info. Only one table is created inside my student database. Okay, now we have to know the structure of my student. So use describe student semicolon DESC STUDENT student DESC and then student. My table name is my table name is studinfo na, so I have to put, because we will work in table. Okay, so let's see, here you can see column is created like student ID, type is int, null, key, we didn't give any key, and then default, etc. So DSC student info, what this query do? This query define the structure of our table. Okay, now we have to put some values in it. For putting the value, we have a query which is insert into table and then table name. Here our table name is stu info and then values. Okay, so what's the query? For entering the values, which is insert into table name, and put the values. So first what we have a integer. So okay, so student ID, here I can give 11, and then student name, let's consider, because it's varchar, so we have to put in a double quotation mark or a single quotation mark, Sanju. And then city is also our character, so we have to put in double quotes or single quotes. So here I can take Thane. Okay, let's enter. Why this error is coming? Student name, insert into table, student info. Okay, here you can see, first I will tell you. Okay, system CLS. Okay, So here we have insert one values. For knowing then that value, we have one query, select star from table name. A table name is stud info. So here you can see one value is inserted. Okay, so likewise I have to insert many values. So we have that query which is insert into table name and then values. So let's put one more values which is insert into stud info values and then put another id which is 12, name is Rani, and then city in double quotes which is Pune. Okay, and then semicolon, enter. One row is also affected. Okay, so likewise I have to insert so many values. Okay, so for example select this and just you have to change the values because every time you didn't wrote this. Okay, so you can do copy paste. So here I can give Rohi and then Thane. Okay, so let's, here I am inserting three values. For knowing that values, how many values are inserted in my table, we have a command which is select star from stud info. See, select star from stud info. Okay, and then enter. So here you can see three values is inserted successfully. There is another query. Okay, for knowing how many values are inserted in our table, you have to simply wrote table and then our table name. So our table name is stud info and then semicolon. See, same output we got. Okay, so either you can use this query or this query. It's an interview questions. Sorry. So our first create command is completed successfully. Now we have to enter into alter command. Okay, so what alter do? Alter is used to modify our varchar, how many length is there. Okay, so let's start it. So first what I need to do, alter and then alter table, and my table name is stud info, and then I have to modify my length. For example, someone name is too longer. Okay, or someone city is too longer. For example, see, what was the query for knowing the structure of our table. We have query which is DESC and then table name stud info. Okay, so here you can see student name we have put 150 length and student city we have put 28 length. Okay, for example, if someone city name is too longer than this length what we have declared here. Okay, for example I have to modify them 28 to 100. Okay, so we have a query which is alter table and then our table name stud info and then modify, use modify, and then for example I have to modify my student city length. Okay, so student city and use varchar. Okay, because the data type is varchar, we have to must put the varchar data type, whatever data type we have to modify. Okay, and then here I am giving 100 length, or let's consider 298 length. Okay, and then enter. See, our table is modified. Now I have to See, is really is modified or not. So for knowing them, we have a query stored info and then enter. Okay. So here you can see it's modified from 28 to 298. Here you can see first 28, after modifying it's 298. So this is the use of alter command, okay, or alter query. Now let's move to the next command, which is truncate. See, we will finish create, truncate. Now we have to move to alter command, okay. So let's move. First I need to clear this screen, system CLS. Guys, you must remember, in SQL we can use like this, it's case sensitive, okay. We can use any method or any naming convention like capital to small. It's properly work. I will tell you how it's work, okay. So truncate, we will move to the truncate command, okay. See, I'm using here trun and then cat, okay. See, it's work, it's properly work. So truncate and then table, and table name is stored info, okay. See, now I will now I have to know it's really work or not, okay. So I have to move to my values. For moving my values, we have a command which is select star from stored info, okay. You can see our table is empty, but if I want to see the structure of my table, it's properly visible, which is DESC stored info, okay. Here you can see our table value is deleted permanently, but our structure is there. So this is the use of truncate. What truncate do? Truncate uh, delete all the values in our table, okay, but it remains the structure, except structure, okay. Here you can see it's deleted all the values whatever we have putting, okay, but the structure is remain, okay. So that's the use of truncate. Now next move to the drop query, which is C here, drop, okay. So for example, drop table and then table name is stored info. For example, I have to drop this database, okay. For example, first what we have to do, I want to know how many databases are present in my table or in my SQL query. So we have a command which is show databases, entered. Here you can see our student database is there, but I have to delete this database permanently, okay. So we have a command which is drop database and database name student, okay. drop drop and then student, drop database. I wrote wrong spelling here, okay. Here you can see one row is affected properly, okay. Now I have to know it's really deleted permanently from my database or not, okay. So we have that command which is show databases, entered. Here you can see there is no student database is present in our database collection. See, there is no student database. So that's all for today's video. Now you can see the difference between drop and then truncate. What truncate do? Truncate delete the values from our table but not structure of our table. But drop deleted permanently our table, and it can be deleted our database also permanently. Okay, so that's all for today's video. If you like this video, so please like, share and subscribe, and share with your friends, family and relatives. Thanks for watching my video.